49ers. The Cowboys owner and general manager said his football franchise is the Glitz and the Glamour of the NFL. Jones further explained himself during a radio appearance yesterday.
The idea of the Dallas Cowboys and the traditional picture of Cowboys was the one that was in my mind. Tex Schramm immediately straightened me out, and he said, let Houston be the checkered tablecloth and the sawdust floors. The Dallas Cowboys are glitz and glamour. We're about beautiful office buildings. We're about the city lights. A lot of teams have their kind of faith, or they have their mantra. Pittsburgh Steelers, steel mill. San Francisco, in my mind, has a certain mantra. But I think the Dallas Cowboys are glitz and glamour.
All right, Tex Schramm, he mentioned in that sound there, the original president and general manager of the Cowboys. Skip, your reaction to his latest comments.
Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to take this seriously. You know, I've written 3 books about the Dallas Cowboys. I know a little about their history. I found these quotes from Jerry Jones fascinating because there's a bottom line quote that we didn't hear in that soundbite. He said, and I quote, "We want to knock our opponents' you-know-what's off with glitz and glamour." That cut to the heart of the difference between Jerry's 2000 Cowboys, the Cowboys of this century, if you will, and the Tom Landry Cowboys of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and the Jimmy Johnson Cowboys of the early 90s. The difference was that from the start, the Cowboys were about glitz and glamour in the 1960s when Tex Schramm invented them and eventually in 71 put them in that stadium that you once attended, Texas Stadium, that looked like an alien spaceship that had landed on the North Texas plain. And those Cowboys were different, Stephen A., because beneath the glitz and glamour, and they were pretty boy teams, they had what you call a bunch of rough riders. They had a bunch of bad you-know-whats. They had a Leroy Jordan and a Bob Lilly and a Cliff Harris who would knock your you-know-what off. And then in the early 90s, they had a Charles Haley and a Michael Irvin and an Eric Williams who would knock your you-know-whats off. That's what they were. They had an undertone of rough and toughness that these Cowboy teams through the 2000s, up until 2014, have not had. So Jerry's correct. They were always Hollywood teams. If you read my book, God's Coach, if you look at those teams in the 60s and 70s, they were nothing but straight Hollywood, but they had rough and toughness at their core that these teams don't have. So there's no difference about the way they presented themselves early on. They were all glitz and glamour. How'd they win all those Super Bowls? 5 Super Bowls? Because they had those rough riders as their mantra. That's what they did, and that's what Jerry doesn't seem to get. They don't have any of those kind of players today that strike any fear in anybody they play.
Okay. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Well, nothing. We can go to the next question. I think I said it all.
We can. We can, because they don't have rough riders. They are about glitz and glamour, and they're not about productivity and results. It's just that simple. So rather than, continue to go on, I'm going to stop right there, Skip, and just applaud you for recognizing the deficiencies in your Cowboys. Congratulations. I'm going to take a break from crucifying them today because, to be quite honest with you, I've got completely bored with them. Let's wait to see them lose in the regular season before we get on them, because there's really nothing else to talk about with them.
You didn't seem bored when we were talking about Jason Garrett being ranked 30th among the NFL coaches in the first hour of the show.
I found that preposterous. Because I think he should have been rated lower.
So that's it? No take. You're gonna stall him out, Stephen A.
Nope.
All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Case closed.
Wow.
Say he took all my points.
They don't have rough riders, ladies and gentlemen. This just in, breaking news. We leave it there.